Welcome to this tutorial, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to create a portfolio website for those who are the career people. This is one of the websites that you can be able to use to showcase your skills to the world. So it is very much important for you to understand on how you can be able to go about it. Now in this particular case you're going to use HTML and CSS to develop this. So first of all, you are supposed to create a folder on your desktop, and the folder is you can give it a name like mails, or you can give it a name like portfolio. Inside this folder, this is where we are going to put in the files. So you can create a portfolio website, portfolio folder. Now you go to your VS Code. In your VS Code you go to file, and then you go to new. Go to file and then you go to new. Now in this case you're going to type text index.html, and then you click on create. The moment you click on create, you go to that folder where you are supposed to put that file. So in this case we are going to put the file inside the portfolio folder. So you double click on it and then you create. Already I've created one for mails, that's why I'm not going to repeat it. Now the second file that you're supposed to create, you go to file and then you go to new file, and then you just type there styles.css. so that is what you want to create, and then you just go to the same you create file, and then you go to your desktop, you go to that folder called portfolio, you double click on it, and then inside there you create, and then you'll be good to go. Now in this particular case I've already created my two files, and therefore I'm going to use this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to type the code, the HTML code on the first file, and then I do the styling on the second one. Now the HTML should always start with the doc type. So start with the doc type. No, it's supposed to be in HTML, so I'm supposed to start with the doc type HTML. You're supposed to have the head. Inside the head you're supposed to have the title. So the title can be my portfolio. Under that you can as well be able to have the link, so that you can be able to link with your CSS. So style sheet, and then you have href like that, and then you put there the styles.css, then you put the / and then you close that. Then you go to the next part, you have your body. Then inside the body you're going to put some code, but let's enter the HTML first, down there like that. Now when you go to body, I want to type the following in my body section, that we are going to have the header. We're going to have the header, and then in the header is supposed to have the class name, and the class name that you have given to this header is going to be the background color, and the background you're going to give it the background. So the name that you're going to give to it is going to be called the background, header background. You can just say header background, header background. So that's the name that has been given to that header. And then inside that header we are going now to put there the nav. We're going to have the nav, and our nav we are going to start with the UL. So our UL is going to have the list of the following elements. Okay, so we are going to have the following list of elements. So the first one is going to be href, ahref equal to, and then we are going to give it the name ahref. It's supposed to be ahref, and then Inside here you're supposed to put in the hash, then you say about us, about. Okay, so that is the one that is going to be there. And then after you do that, you make sure that you close the angle bracket. So you close the angle bracket, then you have about, and then you have the closing angle bracket like that. So we've already done that, so I can just delete one. Then I can just copy this 3 times. So I just copy and then I paste it 3 times. Now inside there we're going to change it to portfolio, here to portfolio, then outside here is going to be portfolio. Then inside here also is going to be portfolio. Then the next one is going to be contact, and then outside here is going to also to be contact, like that. Then after that, the next thing you're supposed to do is just make sure that you have closed the unordered list, and make sure you have also closed the nav. And also down here we're going to create the next one, and this one is going to be about the div. So you clear the div and then you give it a class of header content, and then inside the header content we will be having the following. So inside here we're just going to have the name, the name of that particular person, and the name of that particular person can be like, hi, my name is Titus Wise. So that is the name that will appear in there. And then you can give a paragraph about your principles or your tagline or something of that kind. So you can say that I'm a web developer, and then you can also say that I'm a graphic designer, and then you can give digital marketing. Then you close the paragraph, and then you close the div, and then you close the head. So make sure that all that is closed, and then you go to your main. Now in the main section you're supposed to add the following. In the main section you're supposed to have the section for a section ID. You're supposed to give it a section ID equal to about. Okay, so that's your section ID that you're giving to that part. And then you close that, and then you enter into that location, and then you can be able now to use H2 now, H2, and then in the H2 you're going to write about me, and then under about me you're going to add some paragraph. First of all, you can add the image. So I'm going to add my image there. So I can say image equal to, and then you go to images, and then you click on these images, and then you find my profile. My profile image is here. Then after that, okay, you can be able to have the alt, and then I can leave it blank for now, the alt part, and then I just have the / and then the closing angle bracket. So you go to the next one, you have the P. And in the paragraph, I'm not going to write a lot. I'm just going to write very few sentences. Maybe I can say that I'm a seasoned web developer with years experience in a fast growing institution, as a trainer, and a consultant. Deals with medium and large stroke corporate projects that involves my area of expertise. So that is basically my description. I can just write that right there. Then you go to the next section. Now the second section is going to be the section for portfolio. The second section is going to be ID equal to, and then you give it the name portfolio. I'm going to give it the name portfolio. Okay, this one was supposed to be about. You give it a name that is going in that direction, about, for example. Then at that particular point, you are going to go into that section, and then you're going to say H2. You're going to use H2, and then you're just going to say my projects. Under that, now you're going to give us the divs for the projects that you have accomplished. So we're going to have the div for, then you give it the class name. The class name is going to be project. Then you give it an ID. Give it an ID of project 1. Give it an ID of project 1, and then you close that particular div. Then outside there, you're supposed to write the name project 1. Like that. Then I just copy this, and then I just paste here 4 times. So that is it, and then you just change the names. Now the ID is going to be 2, and the project is going to be 2. The ID here is going to be 3, and the project here is going to be 3. The ID here is going to be 4, and then the project is going to be 4. Okay, then that is about that section, and then you go to the next section, create another section, and in this section you create another section, and then you give it an ID of contact. You give it an ID of contact, and then under that you're going to have the following. Under that you're going to have the following. So H2, keep in touch. Keep in touch. And then the next one is going to be a button. You're going to have a button there, and this button basically you're going to give it a class of BTN. You're going to have a class of BTN default. Then you can also say TD, continue maybe to describe that, TD outline, then you give it white. TD outline, give it white, and then outside this now the button we say that send message. So we can have an exclamation mark there. Then at the end of that particular one, we are going to have the end of the main section. So that's the end of the main section, and then the last one is supposed to have the footer now. So we are going to create a footer, and the footer here is going to be very simple. We're going to have got the paragraph, and then inside the paragraph we're going to have copyright, and then we just say the art. So it's supposed to be that, and then copy. Okay, so we are going to have that there to help us get that art symbol. And then we move to the next part, and that is 2020, 2024, 2024, and then you have our, it's going to be it's going to be Titus Wise, going to be Titus Wise, and then you just say that all right reserved, all right reserved. Alright, reserved, like that. Then you have the closing footer section down there. Good. So we have been able to capture everything, the body, and then we have got the HTML down here. So we want to go to our CSS and be able now to style everything up so that it can be able to look nice. So I've just made sure that here it was a $, though it's supposed to be an ampersand, an and. So you just press shift and then 7 on your keyboard, and then you'll be able to get this an and sign, and then you have the copy, and then you put the semicolon at the end here so that it can be able to give you the copyright symbol. So in case you want maybe to check the way your website looks, it's very dull at the moment. So when I just right click and then I go to show preview, so your website is going to look like this. So you can see the pictures have been added, everything has been intact, but now it is not looking very nice. You go down here, you can see the copyright symbol has just been added correctly the way we wanted. So we want to add some kind of CSS so that everything can be able to fit perfectly. Now let's go to our CSS code here. So I'm going to close this live preview first, and then I go to my CSS code. So first of all, we start with the root. So we want to style the root. So the root is going to be here, and then we just say open curly bracket, and then we just start with the primary color for this website. The primary color for this website will be is equal to hash. The full column. So the primary color is going to have the full column. This is going to have the double areas like that, and then you have the hash, and then you give it a color of 29A598. So that's the color that you want to use. Yes, blue, it's a good color. Then you have the secondary color, or maybe you can just use that one. So you can just say text color. We expect the text color to be, we give it a text color of hash. Then you can say maybe we give it a text color of 39 4C 4A. 39 4C 4A. It's going to have that color there. Then you have a background color. Give it a background color. Okay, background light, not necessarily color. Background light, we're going to give white. So hash FFFFFF. So we are going to give it white, and then next we're going to give the header height. The header height, we expect it to be 100 vertical height, VH, yeah. So we're going to give it that. So I just try to do that, I save, then I go back and see if there is any changes on my code. So I just right click and then I show preview. So it should give us some output. Yes, everything is lining up very well. So let's continue to the next part. So I go to my CSS again. Now in my CSS I'm going to create the second one, that is our BTN. So we can have our hysteric and then comma, and then we have got another hysteric here, and then we just have the two full columns, and then you have the before one. So we're going to say the before and then comma, again you're going to have that, and hysteric, and then you have got the two full columns, and then it's supposed to be after. And then we want to now to style that is going to be box sizing. So we're going to apply the box sizing, and then we give it the border box. So we're going to have the border box. So we say just the self, and then we go here and then check show preview. Okay, so everything is lining up very well. So I go back to my code again like that, and then I go back to my code, and in this code I'm going to say HTML. Now I'm going to style HTML, the entire HTML, that is our root directory or our root element, and then we're going to give a font size of we're going to give the font size of 110%. We're going to give it the same font size of 110. The next one is going to give us the body. So in this case we're going to have a body of the margin body of the margin 0, and then the next one you're going to have the padding of 0 also, and then you're going also to have the font family of can have Waxan, Helvetica. Basically you can just use Helvetica. This one, I think this one is okay for me. Then the next one we are going to have the color. We're going to have the color, and then we're going to have the color of hash. This one, see here. The next one you're going to have the line height. The line height you're going to give it 1.5. The line height is going to be 1.5. Then the overflow X is going to be hidden. It's going to be hidden. Then the next one you're going to have the background. So if I save these, I can go and check if there is any changes. Okay, go there and then just check the changes. Okay, you can see some kind of the changes on the background. So we are working with the HTML. There are some changes in the headings and so on and so forth. So we go to the next one, and that is we're going to deal with the header background. So we're going to give the header background. So we're going to say the header background is supposed to give us the following. So in the header background, remember we had specified the header background on this division is here. The header background is here. So that's why we are trying to refer to this particular end. So we are going to say that we want the background, give it a background color. I want the background color to be something very simple. Maybe we can give it maybe cadet blue. That is the color that you want to see in that area. And then give it the background size. Alternatively, we can use the image. You can as well be able to use the image. Yeah, I can just use the image. I can use the image in the background, so you can just say background. Yes, let me just correct that. I can use the background, and then I can just say this is the linear gradient. So we want to apply some kind of gradient on it, so it is going to be RGBA. Then we're going to have 255, 254, 253. Then you just say 0.7. Then you move deeper, and then you also want the second color code that you're going to have is going to be RGBA, and then we're going to give it the color code of 255, 254, we're going to give it 253, it's going to be 0.9. So that's the second color in this gradient of ours. And then you put the comma at the end here. Then you go down, and then you just say the URL for that image will be, and then you put that, and then just say image, and then you select any image that you want. So for example, I can select thumbnail 2. You can say thumbnail 2. Yeah, so that is the color, that is what is going to happen. And then you have got the center, and then you can as well say center, and then you can just say center again, and then you can have fixed. They're not movable every time when you move down up in your pages. So by so doing, it is going to solve that problem. So we have been able to capture that there. Then the next thing that you want also to capture under the, so that was about the header background. So the another thing we want to capture in the header background will be the text, the background color, the background size. The background size, we're going to give it the cover to cover the entire header. And then we have got the text align. Text align, we're going to give it center. Then the next one, you're going to say height. You're going to give it 100 VH. Then the next one, you're going to give display, and then you're going to give it a display of flex. Then you're going to give also the flex direction, and the flex direction in this case is going to be color. Then you got the next one, we're going to give the justify content, and then the justify content we're going to say center. Then the next one, we're going to say we have align items, and then we're going to say center, like that. And then we go down here. Now we are finished with the header background. We go to our nav. Now in our nav, we are going to say the following. We are going to have the width of 100%, the width of 100%. Then we are going to have the position to be absolute. Then the next one, we are going to say that top should be 0. Then we also need to have a bottom or left, and say left, we want it to be 0 also. And then we also need to have the background to be RGBA, and then you give it 0, 0, 0, then 0.5, like that. And then we expect the padding that we're going to apply there is going to be 15 pixels against 0. 15 pixels against 0. The next thing we want to talk about, we're going to talk about the nav UL, an ordered list for the nav. And then in there, we're going to have the following. We're going to say style, list style is going to be none. And then we're also going to give it the margin of 0, we're going to give it a margin of 0 top down and auto left right. Then the next one, we're going to have the padding. So the padding is 0. Then the next one is text align. Text align, and in the text align we're going to have it center like that. Then the next one, we're going to have the nav unordered list, li, the list items. Now how do you want the list item to apply? So we want the list items to be displayed inline. So we want the display to be inline, and then we also want the margin, and the margin we want it to be 0 and then 10 pixels to left right. And then we got the next item to be styled, that is the anchor tag under the nav ULLIA. So we want to style the anchor tag. So the anchor tag in this case we're going to give the white color. We're going to give it the white color there. And then next we're going to have the text decoration, and then the text decoration is supposed to be none. And then the next one is that you're going to have the font family, and you're going to give the font family of cursive. Is this one? Yes, cursive. Okay. And then the next one, you're going to give it the font size of font size is going to be 1.2 REM. So if you know the difference, if you want to know the difference between REM and EM, I have a YouTube channel, I have a YouTube video that I've been able to record on that particular area. Now the next one is what we call the, since it is a class, we say dot header content, and then basically in this case we are going to target the image. So where is the header content in our HTML? The header content in our HTML is here. Header content. It's supposed to be having that hyphen there. So if you go back to our program, that is our style sheet, we'll make sure that everything is okay like that. Now in there we're going to have the maximum width. We're going to have the maximum width of 250 pixels. Then the next one is that we are going to have the border radius, of 50 pixels like that. Then you move. The next one is what we call the dot header content, and in this case we're going to talk about the H1. Then you have also the comma, and then you have some space, and then you put the class, the dot, and then you have the header content, and then also we are going to focus on the paragraph. So we want to style those two at the same time. So we're going to give it the margin of 0.5 root em, 0.5 root em. Then we're going to have 0 top down. Then you also have the font family that you want to use there. Font family. So the font family I want to use in this case, I want to use something very simple here. I want to use something like Times New Roman. I can give you Times New Roman. I can use this one. Yeah, so I can just use that one. Then that is it about that header content. And then the next thing we want to talk about is the about section. So about. So when you talk about the about, basically you mean this part, this one. So you can see in our code we have specified the about part. So in this section it talks about the person we are trying to describe in that location. So there is need for us to be explicitly specify that this is what exactly you want to talk about, and therefore we have given it an ID of about. you go to our code here, we have given it an ID of about. Okay, so we have a section here, we have a section in our program here, it has been written ID, and then we're giving it about. You can see here we have the ID. So every time you have the ID, you are supposed to start with the word hash. So when you go deeper in this section now, we're going to see of how we can be able to style that part. And therefore the first thing we're going to write here, it will be the background color. So we're going to give it the background color of I'm going to give it a background color of hash FFF, so to be white. So the background color in that case we want it to be white, and then the padding we want to use there, the padding left, we want to give it a 40 pixels. And then we go to the next one, is that we have the padding right. The padding right, we want to give a padding right of 40 also pixels. And then we also want to also have the margin, and the margin that we want to use there is going to be 40 pixels also. Then you go to the next one, you want to have the border radius. The border radius we want to use 0.5%. Then you go to the next one, you have the text align. Text align, you're going to have the center. The next one, you're going to have the portfolio, the profile photo. Maybe you can just give it, so we had given it a name here, so we have got the name for that image. So we need to give it a class name here, so you're going to have a class, and then you can just say the profile photo, so that when you go to our program this side, we can be able to refer to it, profile photo, like that. And then now inside the profile photo, we are going to give the maximum width. Give it a maximum width of 40%. And then we also want to have the height. We want to have the height of outer. Then you're also going to have the border radius of 50%. Border radius of 50%. Then we go to the next one. We are going to have our projects. So we're going to have our projects. Remember, we have the project class, so this is our project class here. So we have the portfolio, the ID of portfolio, but the class, now we are talking about the class project. So you can see it is going to be applied in all these four. So when you go to this, it's going to give us the project. Inside the project, we are going to have the width. We have the width of 200 pixels. Then you have the height of, we're going to give a height of 200 pixels also. Then you're going also to have the border of 1 pixel, 1 pixel by solid, 1 pixel solid. Then you have hash PCC. Then next we are going to have the margin. So the margin, we are going to have 10 pixels. Then you also have the display. Display, we're going to have inline block. Then you also have the line height. We're going to get a line height of 200 pixels. Then the next one, we're going to have the contact. Hash, and then you say contact. Then inside there, we're going to have the background color. Background color is going to be hash FFBC, then 4B. So that is the contact part. When you go to here, it's going to have that part of contact. You can see the ID is contact. Therefore, that's why we are using the hash instead of a dot. Then you're having a padding of 15 pixels. Then you're also going to have the border radius of 0.5%. Then you're also going to have the text. You're going to have the text align of center. Then going further down there again, we're going to have the TD. So we're going to say TD, and then we just say BTN. So where are we getting it? The button that we created here, the TD, then BTN. So we need to reference this. So TD BTN, you can see it is here. So this is our class. That's why I'm using the dot in this case, TD BTN. And then in this case, you're going to specify the padding to be 12 pixels top down, and then you have got 36 left right. 36 pixels left right. Then you go next, you have text transformation. To transform the text to uppercase. Then the next one, you're going to say transition. So in the transition section, we're going to change the background. We're going to change the background color. Background color we're going to give, and then you have 0.2 seconds, and then you're going to have the easy way to do that. Easy in out, easy in out, easy in out as our styling for that. And then we got the next one is going to be the background color. The background color is going to be hash, then 0F FB. That is the background color for that button. The last thing we want to add here is the footer. So you just want to format the footer. So I'm going to have open that, and then we have the background. You change the background to F hash F4. That's the background there. And then you go to text align. We want to have a text align of center. Then you want to have also the padding. And then the padding here, we are going to have 10 pixels. Then you can also have additional styling for the H2. You can also style the H2 so that you have the color of you can also style the H2 and then give it a color of hash 333. So that's our color there. And then you also have the font family. The font family you want to use cursive. And then we go further, and then you just change the font size. Font size we want it to be 1.3 rem. And then you go to the next one, the anchor tag. I also want to do some additional styling on it, so we're going to give it like that. So we have got hash 29, this one. See here. Then the transition, we're going to have a transition, not a transform, transition of the color. We're going to change the color to 0.2 seconds, within 0.2 seconds, and then we have easy in out. Then the next one is that we're going to have the styling on the hover. So what happened in this case is that every time you hover over the anchor tag, it's going to change the color, and the page color that is going to be displayed on top of it is going to be 40, 20, 48, 79, like that. So we go to the next part, is that we have the media. Now we want it to fit within our phone or any other screen, so we need to have the media settings, and in this case we're going to have the max width. We're going to specify the max width, and then we want the max width to be 768 pixels. So that's our max width, and then we just open in there, and then you can give the nav. In that particular environment, the nav is supposed to align in the following way. So the list is supposed to be displayed in a block form, in a block, and then also you need to make sure that the margin is 10 pixels by 0 pixels. So remember, this one is the one that is going to be displayed inside. So I think there's a problem here. We're supposed to have a closing bracket there, but this one is not there. Yes. So in here we're going also to have the profile. The profile person, the profile photo of that particular person also need to be adjusted in this. So you're going to have the width of 50 pixels, of 50%, and then the margin should be 0, and then outer, like that. Next is that we are also going to, so I think those are the main two areas that can be adjusted so that it can be able to give us the output that we require. So if I save this, and then I save this, and then I go to my folder that I created on the desktop. So I created a folder called mail. So if in case you created a folder called photo profile for portfolio, you can go to this particular folder. But for me, those codes are in these mails. So when I double click on it, and then I go and open my index.html, I should be able to get the output. So once it has loaded, you can see we have got that website the way it is. So I need to move this text, and this about me needs to be moved at the center. And also I've changed in my program, in my code, if you missed the HTML and also you made an error on the style sheet, it's supposed to be style sheet. So in case you have an error on that area, maybe your program might not be able to run. Now if you missed the HTML during our process of coding, and also you missed the area of rel relationship, that is the style sheet, you had written style sheet rather than style sheet. So in case you made that error, you can go back and then correct it. So we need to fix that part whereby we want this about us, or this particular part about me, to be moved at the center of this program. So let me go to my code, and then I go to my about area. So you can see text align is supposed to be center aligned. So it needs to be at the center. The text needs to be at the center, but it's not at the center at the moment. You can see it is now put in this side. So there is something wrong somewhere, therefore we need to fix it. So it was a very simple error. So the error was that about is supposed to be capital A. Here is supposed to be capital A, but it was small a. So you change that part, you realize that your program automatically, everything is center aligned like that. So that is how you can create a portfolio website, a simple portfolio website for you to showcase what you have. I've not been able to add any project in here because I just wanted you to demonstrate to you how to be able to segment your web page so that it looks like this. So for example, if I go here and click on about, it definitely is supposed to take me to about us. When you click on the portfolio, it's supposed to take you to portfolio, but you can see at the moment we have not added the JavaScript. So JavaScript is the one that enables us now to, you can see this one is going directly to that part. Okay, so if you click on contact, it takes you to contact. When you click to portfolio, it is supposed to take you to portfolio, but the reason is that we are using small letters instead of capital letters. So when I go back to my code here, when I go back to my code, we are using small p. Yeah, so maybe I can change it to capital P, so that it also works for my side. Here also is supposed to be capital A like that, so that it can also be able to accommodate that. So you can see this one is okay, this one is okay, this one is okay. So when I save this and then I go back to my code and then I refresh, definitely it should work for us. Very good. So you can see it takes me to the about. When I click on it, it takes me to the project, and when I click on this, it's going to take me to the contacts part down there. So that's how you can go to create a very simple portfolio website to showcase your projects and also to showcase your skills. Thank you so much for watching. Kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel so that when I create the next content, you'll be informed. Bye bye for now.